eloquence of my academic and intellectual reservoir. Let me say, life is fluxing without human rights. And life is honorificability to dignitatis when you know your fundamental human rights. I am the man with the taxonomic nomenclature appellation, Father the Grammarian. I am here in Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM Abuja. My people, what I try talk be say, it could make we know our human rights and make we respect them. Now maybe Father the Grammarian at the Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM Abuja. No change the dialogue.
Human Rights Radio.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the newsites of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Welcome to Media Lab for today, 24th of October 2017. You're welcome to the program that brings together media personalities all in one forum just to discuss some of the trending topics. This time around, it's a bit different, like we've always said, from the X-Ray, which starts from 9 o'clock in the morning, where we bring panelists wherever they may be coming from. But on this platform, we basically only accept media personalities. And on the program today, I have with me Ruth, the lady from the morning this morning. You remember on Vendor's Corner, that beautiful voice you heard. That was Ruth. You're welcome to Media Lab, Ruth.
Thank you, Peter.
And I also have one other personality. You'll get to hear her much later at night. We'd like to welcome Jennifer.
Thank you, Peter.
Let's start off with the trending topic. It's been an issue since yesterday up until today. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has called for the immediate arrest and prosecution of Abdul Rashid Maina, a former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms, wanted for alleged fraud. And the party made the call in a statement by the National Publicity Secretary of its National Caretaker Committee, Mr. Dayo Adeye, on Monday in Abuja. The party called for the arrest and prosecution of those who aided the return of Maina to the country after his disappearance for several years and his restoration to his duty post with added promotion. The party also called for immediate sack of the Minister of Interior, General Abdul Rahman Dambazo, retired, and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, for restoring Maina to office against good conscience. It recalled that Minor was given an assignment by the President Goodluck Jonathan-led administration to superintend the now-defunct Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms. According to the PDP, Minor, however, dipped his hands into the jar and helped himself to 100 billion naira, which was supposed to safeguard. He was supposed to safeguard, actually. And it said that the then government, with good conscience of fighting corruption, mandated the anti-corruption agencies to perform their constitutional duty. It also added that Minor fled from Nigeria only to resurface at the country 4 months ago and was reinstated by the All Progressives Congress APC government rather than arresting him. Now, the PDP also demanded explanation of the civil service rule, which was relied upon in promoting a Minor who had abandoned his duty post as assistant director to the position of director. And in those statements, as quoted by the Vanguard newspaper, it said that it reported that the fugitive has been rewarded with payment of bogus salary arrears amounting to 22 million naira, which he reportedly collected upon approval and released by the Accountant General of the Federation. The party expressed disappointment that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, with its viable network, wasn't aware of Minor's entrance into the country until the media exposed it. It also deplored the delay by the government in prosecuting the graft allegations against suspended Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Babachir Lawal. It noted that the same also applied to the suspended Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, Mr. Ayo. Okay. This is a very serious issue. It's not the first of its kind. We are seeing sort of, in the words of the PDP, a fugitive who has finally been, found in a very comfortable state, receiving bogus allowances, even in arrears of what should have been paid to him, even after having absconded. What is your take on that? Let's start with Ruth.
Well, I'd say it's worrisome. I mean, if the EFCC have him on their website on the wanted list, and all of a sudden he appears here, and it looks like no one seemed to have known about his re-entry into the country, and going back straight to his office, and not just going back to the position he was, but then being promoted. So you have to start wondering what is going on. This person is supposed to pay for certain wrongs that were committed by him. In that, of course, it's no news anymore. But then now we're having him being promoted as if to sweep under the carpet everything that had happened to him. So we're talking about transparency here now. It's not a party thing. I know, the PDP is raising its eyebrow on this, but then Nigerians, I know, want to know exactly what is going on. Is there someone up there protecting him? Why is it that, things always happen like this? Like you said, I mean, it's not the first time. There's been so many other different instances. But why would he even be reinstated and then giving promotion as if to say, well, thank you for whatever, or there is just something going on, and I'm sure people will not. We're living in an era where information flows very easily, so whether it is from the right source or not, people just have access to a lot of information these days. So many Nigerians are aware of this, and they want to know exactly what is it that is happening. Transparency in governance is key here.
Jennifer?
I would say that basically it's corruption. I'm sorry to say, but we have enough measures on ground to say that we as Nigerians are trying our possible best to fight corruption. But deep down, I think corruption has eaten into conscience of people. When I mean conscience of those even in politics, I mean in political offices. Because I don't see how it is possible for you to just vanish and then reappear, and then all of a sudden it's like we're awarding you. I mean, that is not fair, because seriously it is a matter that need to be looked under. I thank you for PDP for actually trying to bring back this, because I'm very sure that it's not possible for you to say that this person came back and you're not aware of it. I mean, you were the same people that actually brought him back. So why are you saying giving him back his office and even like giving him a thank you package? That is not fair. I would say that there should be more investigation on this issue, and if he needs, proper measures should be taken. I mean, proper measures in the sense that whatever he has taken that is actually of Nigeria, he should actually return it, and if possible, there should be proper measures to checkmate every other thing, even during his what's it called? The word is missing right now. Even when he's not around, and now that he's back, let's get to look into the issue and then get to find better solutions. And when we mean solutions, we mean practical solutions, because I'm very sure that Nigerians are not fools. We actually know what we're doing. Just because most of the willing ones that are going to do the right thing are not there, doesn't mean that there are other good ones that are there that could actually bring this to justice. So we actually need answers, and we need quick answers.
Quick answers, of course, and the president also needs a very quick answer. The president, Muhammadu Buhari, on Monday, in a memo to the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Oyoita, directed the immediate disengagement from service of Minor, the former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pension Reform. Now, the president also equally demanded a full report of the circumstances of Minor's recall and posting to the Ministry of Interior, saying the report must be submitted to the office of the Chief of Staff to the President before the end of work on Monday, which is exactly yesterday. The good thing is that Adesina, the presidential spokesman, in a television interview on Monday night, confirmed that Oyoita had submitted the report to the office of the Chief of Staff as demanded by the President. What do you think this will lead to, Ruth?
Well, it's actually what I would say would have been and is expected of the president, you know, asking for that, will I call it, for him to be resacked, if there's any word like that. So hopefully through this process now, we'll be able to get to the bottom of the situation. Most times in this country, we find out that people are not really, the entire judicial process is never complete. Because in most cases, we want that when people are arrested, when they are accused of certain things, they're tried, and if found guilty, how many of these people end up in prisons? Because that's where you need to be. I mean, especially when you have abused your office. It's a public office, an office of trust. So after abusing such an important office where you are to serve the people, people need to really pay for their mistakes. So it will be the right time to get down, you know, to the bottom of this whole situation and see what really happened. Whatever the situation is, let it come to an end, a clear one in this instance. Let people know this step and that step, and, you know.
Well, Jennifer, the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Oyoita, on Monday was said to have dismissed media report that she approved the reinstatement of Abdul Rashid Minor and his subsequent posting to the Ministry of Interior. Oyoita's refutal was contained in a statement by her Assistant Director, Media Relations, Mohammed Manga. And the head of service maintained that Minor's reinstatement and posting did not emanate from our office. And then the Minister of Interior, on the other hand, retired Lieutenant General Abdul Rahman Mbazo, who had earlier exonerated himself from complicity in the matter, said Minor was posted to his ministry by the head of service. Something is wrong, like Ruth has said.
Yes,
something is brewing, and I think the president is seeing that. How do you see this panning out?
I would just have to say that Mr. President has to actually get his people back on board. I don't know if it's going to be a meeting or if he needs to put more measures on ground to take care of such issues, because it is actually going to be a thing of shame that such little things is actually happening. Not little, because this is actually a big issue. I'm not sure that it will be fair for you to say such things is happening underneath you and you don't know what is happening. And between her and them shuffling and trying to put out blames, definitely it's coming from somewhere. You can't just tell me that it's actually the masses that... And let me say something, just like Ruth said. The society tend to look at when a layman, let me put it, a layman, you know, when anybody in the public gets to steal, there's this discrimination. You have to log the person, you have to follow through measures. But when these people actually, when I mean these people, I mean people in political power get to do something wrong, it's like we award them. And at the end of the day, there are no proper measures to actually checkmate how it ends. Definitely you see them going to court, and before you know it, the case is being dismissed. And what do you have to say, the layman? What do you have to tell Nigerians at the end of the day? That was justice. Justice was served. While someone for just stealing something of let's say 15 naira or 10 naira or 1,000 naira is spending his life in jail.
Or just stealing food.
Or just stealing food. So what I'm saying is that the president has to actually checkmate this. And we need to know where this is coming from. Because both of them are saying, this is saying it's not coming from me, while this is saying it is coming from the other person. We need to know what is happening.
It's obvious someone knows something and someone is trying to
say anything about it right now.
What if both people are not aware?
Then how did it come up to this stage that we are right now?
Because a lot of money was being paid in arrears according to the PDP. So obviously someone must sign that kind. 25 million, for instance, it's not money that can just be paid without any approval by a top person in such a ministry. What do you think? It's just a big amount.
Like I said, we have corruption even in the veins of our children. Let me put it that way. Because I don't think it is possible for you to even sign a check of 50,000 and not to rethink where it is going to. For you to sign that bogus amount, it means you know where it's coming from and where it's going to. Yet the government keeps crying and saying that we don't have enough money to fund certain projects. Yet you have enough money to actually pay someone that actually did something wrong and is coming back. I mean, there are lots of question marks coming up
Let's
here.
also remember that there's also the TSA. The way and method the civil service pays salaries these days are actually very much monitored. So the EFCC and some agencies probably should have seen that. Don't you think it is something that possibly they should have had access to?
Well, if you ask me, it looks like someone trying to shut him up and say, okay, take this just so you don't spill. Maybe he's, privy to some information that could smear someone's name. And, I mean, in situations like this, we just have to think, wild and very widely too at the same time. So what does it really just looks like? Okay, take this for the time you have not been around. Seriously, like he went on a vacation and yet you're paying him all this. So interestingly, we live in a government that is focused on rooting out corruption in the system. So hopefully this should really be taken very, very seriously, and whoever is responsible, it's not just possible that some spirit of some sort will come and reappoint him. Someone has got to be responsible
there are
for
quite a number
this.
of cases here: reappointment, payment of arrears. I mean,
lack of awareness that he was even coming in.
In fact, if you're just joining us, this is Media Lab, and we're talking about Abdul Rashid Miner's situation. In terms of what has just been unraveled. The president is aware. Miner, if you didn't know, was appointed by the former president Goodluck Jonathan as the chairman of the task force in 2010. That's 7 years ago.
Wow.
To check the corruption in the country's pension system. In 2012, the Nigeria Police Force accused him of misappropriating 100 billion naira pension funds in connivance with others. Now, the Civil Service Commission reportedly dismissed him for absconding from duty. The Miner was arraigned in absentia by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, which declared him wanted in 2015. Mr. Wilson Owujaran, the spokesman of the Anti-Graft Agency, in a statement on Saturday, said Miner remained on the Commission's wanted list. Now, the breaking thing about this news is that the Nigerian Senate has demanded the immediate removal of Malami and Mbozo over Miner saga. Now the story is reported on the Sun News Online, and it goes that the Senate has mandated President Muhammadu Buhari to act swiftly and punish the government officials involved in the reinstatement of the former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms, Abdul Rashid Miner. The Senate also mentioned the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, and the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Dambazo, demanding for their immediate removal. Now, the senators who took turns to condemn the recall of Miner said President Buhari's government has been hijacked by powerful forces who do not want the All Progressives Congress APC-led government to succeed. That's supposed to be a breaking situation. in the nation's capital, Abuja, as we speak, and there are pressures coming. More pressures are being expected from different climes across Nigeria and even across board, because we know the international community is also watching what is going on. And of course, let's not forget that the Nigerian Senate has recently been getting involved in many of these issues, and they don't seem to be taking it lightly. What do you think, Ruth?
Well, I would like to use a few words, 2 words actually: transparency and accountability. I think when these two exist in our governance, it will make a world of difference. When everything is clear, this is democracy. When things that take place, things that happen, things that are enforced are, brought to public knowledge. I know, well, you may tell me, well, it's not every single detail, but to the one that people deserve to know, especially when it concerns them, bring it out to the public. And then, of course, when people err, when people do things they are not supposed to do, they should be held accountable and made to face, the consequence of their actions.
And let's also take a look at more condemnations coming from a governor. Governor Fayose has also called, as of yesterday, for Miners' arrest. Prosecution says Buhari's sack an afterthought, and that's from the Tribune. Different accounts. Ekiti State Governor Mr. Aidele Fayose has described President Buhari's directive for the immediate disengagement of the former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms, Mr. Abdullahi Maina, as an afterthought, saying the president only acted to save his face from the global embarrassment caused him by the archived Nigerians on the news of Maina's reinstatement. Let's not forget that these men in question are people who are very close to the president. But we'll take a very close break, and we'll come back to take your phone calls and reactions to more stories on Media Lab. I've got Jennifer and Ruth in the studio. Stay with Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
Human Rights Radio.
As a business owner, you may ask yourself for a reason why to advertise with Human Rights Radio. Well, I'll give you 5. 1. We operate a 24-hour Facebook TV that accommodates all our programs and with over 50,000 views per program. 2. All around the world, millions of people tune into our station live on our Human Rights Radio app, available on Android and iOS. 3. We are employing over 2,000 conversers ready to attend to all your advertising needs. 4. With our very affordable rates, you are guaranteed the best value for your money. 5. We go beyond radio and can be found on all other social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope, proving that while other stations enjoy listenership, we enjoy followership. So if you're still asking yourself for a reason why to advertise with Human Rights Radio, I believe the right question is, why haven't you already? Welcome to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Your right, my right, our right, everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the news items of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Welcome back to Media Lab on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, 29 minutes past 1 o'clock. We still have a lot of time to discuss minor and many other stories. It's the trending topic, and that's exactly what we've been trying to take a closer look at. The question is, are we taking a closer introspection of ourselves as individuals in Nigeria first before taking a look at Miner's case? But again, people saddled with the responsibility of handling public offices in Nigeria, like Jennifer has pointed out, and I think Ruth also confirmed, have always had their ways in some way, and for some reason we've not been able to clamp down on any of these guys and lock them up in jail. At least we've had quite a number of cases by the EFCC. Quite a number of people have been remanded in prison custody for pending the outcome of their cases, but we've not seen a complete conviction of any of these guys that will convince Nigerians. But we're still discussing that. If you want to be part of this discussion, you can go ahead and call us up on 081 89 99 1011. And that's the number to call. There you have it. Hello. Feel free to call us back on 081 89 99 1011. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome to Media Lab.
Okay. My name is Abdul. I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, go ahead.
You know,
Uh-oh. I think we're having network issues. Don't give up. Keep trying. We'd love to hear from you on the program. It's just a network issue. It happens quite often in the afternoons.
hello.
Welcome to Media Lab.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please put off your radio. Can you please put off your radio set? Okay, this is just a reminder to every caller. You need to put off your radio set. Part of the problem we'll be having is if you don't put off your radio set, it will definitely affect connection, and it will be like somebody will say Jackie Staccato. I don't know what that means up to now. Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Christopher.
Good afternoon and welcome to Media Lab.
Well, one thing I've noticed about this government is that their corruption is at the higher level. This one is the one we know about. There are others on that we don't know about. Just like I make mention of the Nigerian army yesterday, those people who are putting their life out for us. Most of the generals, they are eating their money. In the sense that most of the trainees, the 6-month training they do undergo. Instead of them coming out to have their wardrobe allowance to set up themselves, someone is busy eating that money. You see? So corruption, I don't know what to say. It's just that God should help us.
More reactions from Nigerians, obviously taking us to other developments. Of course, it's not common out of place, you know, seeing that this is affecting different sectors. Go ahead and call us up on 081 89 99 1011.
Hello,
Please put off your radio set.
okay,
All right, go ahead.
what I want to say is that Nigeria is doing because it's fully gone. It's doing good. So I know this one, and these people are killing their love for it. It's just that Nigeria has come up to this issue. That's why I think they are trying to pretend they are right.
I'm not sure I heard that. It was really giving a very bad feedback. The quality of sound was not so good. Hello? There you go again.
Mr. Peter, I have something to say. The first caller said something that goes in line with what I'm about to say. Just like we made mention earlier, there's this bogus corruption veil that is covering the Nigerian sector, which I know that you're going to agree with me on that, because I mean, we have cases, or we have had cases in the past of people that are handling public offices that were into corrupt practices. That the EFCC really did take measure, and we did get to know every step they were taking. But it is not possible for you to say that you were under the wanted list back in the country and reinstated with your position, and EFCC doesn't get to know about this?
Well, they haven't said they don't know, but they said that this person is still on their wanted list. So
arrest him. We arrested him already.
Well, I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for them to have a quick arrest.
Okay.
We hope so.
We're watching.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome to Media Lab.
Yeah, my name is Joseph Amana.
You're welcome.
I'm calling from Masaka.
Did you say Joseph Minor?
Joseph Amana.
Oh, Amana.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my contribution to minor case. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Because I saw in the I read it in the Standard today that is sacked. Minor supposed to go in prison for his life in prison. And for the man of the hierarchy in the Ministry of Interior, everybody is there. All these guys who involved manipulating all these things have to go to jail too. Because this country, without check and balance, are also trying to kill us in this country, and people trying to deceive us. So the minor case is life in prison, and that's the best thing for him to do. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. We appreciate your opinion on Media Lab. More calls coming in. Reactions from Nigerians. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome to Media Lab.
Yeah, this is Muhammad Popa.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I'm concerning this issue of minor. We in Nigeria, we should also know that there are organizations, there are parastatals that headed by somebody.
Yeah.
And for them to reinstate him, maybe there are policies that government wanted to do. We always think of negative side of the country. Whatever decision that person who is reinstate minor, there must be a directive. And the directive comes from where? So if you ask, the president said they should start to, yes, that is the right thing. The president has taken the right decision. Whoever does that will go into it. But we Nigerians and we the citizens of this country should know that this thing is not just for Buhari or for any other person. It is for the nation at large. So whatever we are going to do, we should think positively for the country. And whoever is taking it and even promote it, there should be a policy. Let Nigerians not look like it's only the powerful people that hijack the government. Who are they go? So we should always, what I'm trying to point out here is, we should always think of positive thinking, not negative thinking. Whatever policy, whatever decision somebody takes, we should, the government will investigate and know. Minor is very hidden somebody. We don't know about his story or his story. So let us just think positively and let the government press the decision or whatever. That was not condemn social person or social person. That is the only contribution I want to contribute.
Thank you so much for your contribution on the program. Obviously, Jennifer wants to react to your contribution, but I'm not going to let her do that now. I'll take one more call before we take reaction. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Ogaso, you are one of those people that don't like to put up your radio set, Abi?
I'll take my radio now, Oga.
Okay, oh, no problem. You're welcome to Media Lab.
Okay. I just want to
tell us
my name is Abdul. I called you before network.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Abdul.
You know, who was declared wanted by the EFCC since 2016. So they want to tell us, the EFCC want to tell us that the Nigerians that since that 2015 to date, they don't know that Neymar has been in this country and he has been in existence. So in this presidency and FCC now, who is ruling who? That is my question. Who is ruling who now? Who is ruling who now can help us in this country?
No, but again, we can help ourselves. I must tell you, Abdul, is it not common with Nigerians and God? We like to bring God in between, right? What do you think, Ruth?
Well, for everything, someone would say we are very religious people. So for every little thing, there always has to be God. Whether or not you mean it, whether or not you cannot remember the last time you spoke to Him, there is always a God somewhere. So it's a good thing to believe in a higher being. But then again, there are so many things we need to open our eyes to and be realistic, and do the right thing.
So many countries across the world do not talk about God, but they have justice, they have human rights. And so many other things that have really made them who they are today. You can make contributions. Still go ahead and call us up on 081 89 99 1011. Let's take a look at other developments across Nigeria. The Nigeria police appears in the Punch. And it says, the story reads, 20 personnel sanctioned for corruption. That's police sanctioned 20 personnel for corruption. It appears that the fight against corruption is raging on. And it says the Nigeria Police Force says it has sanctioned 20 personnel involved in corruption between January 2016 and June 2017 in 4 states. A report obtained from the Public Complaints Rapid Response Unit by journalists indicated that those sanctions served in Enugu, Abuja, Ogun, and Lagos commands. Let's take this call before we continue our story. Hello?
Hello.
Welcome to Media Lab.
It's Christopher calling back. I want to ask a question.
Okay, Chris.
They say we are the ones to make it right in Nigeria. But this question goes to the media and the journalists. Are they allowed to report what they saw freely?
I don't understand.
You don't understand? Whenever they cover any news, are they allowed to report exactly what they saw that in the event?
It depends.
It depends. Why?
Because...
Well, other countries do it freely.
Which country?
Like, just for example, the incident at Nyanya bomb blast. I was there. But what the press report was different. Because most of these things we all understand. So if you are saying we should handle it ourselves, the government has to help you for to make everybody exercise its human rights freely. Thank you.
Thank you for that observation. I would have the time to start, explaining the role of the media, but obviously the media is responsible for holding the government accountable to the people. But again, remember, we also have limitations. We cannot report certain stories that will indict or cause harm to somebody. If we know that a story is going to cause problems in a certain community,
just
it is
what
right
I
that we
wanted
don't
to
take
say.
that story. So you need to understand that we operate with guidelines and ethics as well.
And reasonableness.
Yes, there are certain editorial values. For instance, there's the respect for children. Social media does not respect children, and anything that happens, you just see children being pictures of children posted carelessly. We don't do that in mainstream media. It is totally not acceptable. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we take another story and reactions. Stay with Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. This is Media Lab.
Human Rights Radio.
Security is the degree of resistance or protection from harm. It applies to any vulnerable or valuable assets, such as a person, dwelling, community, item, nation, or organization. There are, however, various types of securities, such as preventive, detective, as well as responsive security. Hello and welcome to Security and Safety Anyanya, a program designed to tackle security and safety issues in our environment. This na program we could give you an opportunity to call and take yarn with our mind on the kind security and safety challenges we will not be faced and how we not take handle them from our area, even right from una domot. In the course of the program, we go to bring come studio people we don't sabi security and safety matter well. As we know say, no be only police and soldier be security people where we get. We get people like the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, when they call NSCDC. We get vigilante groups where people know as Yambanga, scouts and other people then for this area where they try their best to protect us and our property. Catch Security and Safety Anyanya with Ordinary President on Human Rights Radio 101.1. Security and Safety Anyanya for a security conscious Nigeria.
Human Rights Radio. Human Rights Radio.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the news items of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
And of course, we're set to redefine broadcasting. This is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM and his Media Lab. We've been taking a look at stories surrounding the Abdul Rashid Minor story. Quite a very disturbing trend. Much more reactions expected. We've seen reactions from Governor Fayose. We've also seen reactions for the People's Democratic Party. The Senate has just reacted, and we reported that to you as well. And we're expecting more reactions. Nigerians have been calling on the program to react as well. We expect more and more reactions. But we moved on to another story where the Nigeria Police Force says it has sanctioned 20 personnel involved in corruption between January 2016 and June 2017 in 4 states. A report obtained from the Public Complaints Rapid Response Unit by journalists indicated that those sanctions served in Enugu, Abuja, Ogun, and Lagos commands. It indicated that 10 policemen were dismissed during the period, 1 given a severe reprimand, 1 demoted, and 8 given other forms of punishments. The report showed that 4,342 complaints were received by the unit during the period under review, out of which 3,602 were amicably resolved and 318 pending. It added that 422 complaints received by the unit were discovered to be false. Let's start with Jennifer.
Okay. I just want to say something concerning this police issue. I just hope that whatever measures they are taking is not going to be biased. Biased in the sense that we have people, whenever you're working with people, there are certain people that don't really file in the appropriate complaint towards you. And in this sense, why I'm saying this is because, yes, we want to look at it that some people are trying to work hard to make sure that they are fighting corruption. But if you look at it deep down, it is just one case that is related to the other and the other. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Ruth? That actually brings out people to have resentment towards others. I'm not saying that what they're doing is not appropriate or it's not right or it's not constitutional or it's not their right to carry out this what would I call it now, this exercise. All I'm just trying to say is that as they are trying to do this, there should be a little bit of justice served to it. Yes, so that's just it. And for the number, I mean, if you're going to call about how many states there are, about 4 states that you just mentioned, I don't think that 20 is enough number, if you'd ask me.
Are you expecting more numbers?
Yes, I'm expecting more numbers. I mean, if you're really going to say we're going to fight corruption, we should start doing it with all sincerity.
Ruth?
I've just been smiling, trying to think of from what angle to start talking about this. Most times when we talk about corruption in the police force and all that, some people would want to tell you, okay, why don't you look at the stipends most of them are left with at the end of the day, and they work so hard. I mean, without the police, imagine if there was no police around, the kind of chaos that we would have. So there are people who actually also put in their best to help maintain a level of sanity in society, and yet they have little or nothing to go back home to fall back to talking about their remuneration, and which for some people would say, well, it could be one of the reasons why many of them fall into that trap. But then again, corruption is something that can happen right from your own home. So you can't really take it out of any sector as far as I'm concerned. But the most important thing, let it be a fair case of fishing out those who are involved, big or small. It's just quite unfortunate that most times we get those who commit the smaller sins, so to speak, because some people will tell you, well, there's no sin is sin and all of that. But then why do we have different or varying convictions or jail terms for people who commit certain crimes? It's because of the amount or the intensity or gravity of their crime. Okay, so if it's going to be a fair case, fine. People should learn to be responsible and face the consequence of their mistakes. So it's one good thing. I think the exercise should continue because, yes, definitely there are many more in other sectors that need to be fished out.
We got a text message from Kabiru Aliyu from Kubwa, who says, please let Baba look very well and remove those that are bringing us problems in Nigeria. Obviously, his own widow's mite to the discussion on Abdul Rashid Minor, as a matter of fact. You can also be part of the discussion. If you want to discuss on the program, you can simply go onto our Facebook fan page, and of course let's get to know what you have to say. You can watch us live in the studio and call us up on our studio number 081 89 99 1011. Okay, so that's it. Any final comments before we wrap off?
Okay, my comment goes exactly to, I just want to make a little reference to the caller that called the other time concerning Minor's issue. He said he was trying to say we should look at positive aspects in whatever we're dealing with as Nigerians, and I believe that that is actually coming from his own perspective. But why I kind of disagree with him in this sense is because we're not talking about 1 billionaire, Ruth. We're not talking about just 120 million that was just given back to this person or given to this person. We're actually talking about something that is way deeper. We're talking about 100 billion, I beg your pardon, 100 billion here, right? Concerning the pensions commission that he actually took. Now, this is it. I don't see anything positive coming towards or from that direction, except if you're going to tell me that 100 billion is going to be shared to every Nigerian. I mean, that is positive. That's if that is
let's take this call and get back to you. Hello. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? You may have to call us back. You might just be our last caller on the program. Media Lab. Go ahead, Jennifer.
So we are talking about loot here. We're not just talking, we're not smiling and friendly about the whole thing here. Yes, that is the only way, according to my own perspective, if you want to say that we should take a positive turn to this.
Hello? Hello? Okay, there you have it again.
Well, whether or not the call for him to be, resacked, is an afterthought from the president, whether or not it is, I think the point is the serious problem, the major issues should be taken care of.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome to X-Ray. Sorry, not X-Ray, Media Lab. Okay, go ahead.
In fact, I was very, very surprised to hear this news yesterday. How can somebody who's spending and billion 100 billion naira per day from the suffering of the retirees?
The network is not paying off at all. Well, I actually said X-ray. It's actually Media Lab. Okay.
Yeah, we understand.
Yes, we do.
So, finally, let's also remember that there are quite a number of responsible individuals across board. Not all Nigerians are said to have been involved in any of such corrupt practices, at least not that we know of. But we know also that a larger chunk of the leadership has been accused at some point of either misappropriation, because again, when we talk about misappropriation, we're not saying that the entire money was stolen. It might just have been put to wrong use, and that in itself just defines everything. But let's hope to see what the trending topic will be tomorrow, if this will resurface. At least the president is aware. You also mentioned that it's an afterthought by Mr. President. What if the president just realized or got to know about this?
Well, someone suggested that it might have been an afterthought, but then regardless, is what I'm saying, that regardless of what is responsible for his decision right now, it's a good move, and then he should just be focused and see it to the end.
And I'm just going to say that you should put more eyes on ground, more ears on ground, just to make sure that such issues don't get to repeat itself, because it's just painting his governance bad, and I don't think it's something that he would want to just keep carrying on.
Wonderful journalistic overview from Jennifer and Ruth. Thank you so much for stopping by on Media Lab. You guys will be with us tomorrow, hopefully, and we also expect more of reactions from Nigerians. This is Media Lab. It comes to you Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Have a great and lovely day ahead. Don't forget, 3 o'clock will be time for Prosumer Forum. I will be back with Jennifer on that platform again. And of course, 2 o'clock will be time for Health is Life. Stay locked to this frequency.